if someone's about to leave their body and pass over to the other
Yes.
side, generally, what can we see in that person who's about to pass over? Is there a vacuous state? Or?
No, it varies from soul to soul, person to person. And I say person to person, but really it varies from soul to soul. It all depends on the circumstances around the passing. I've actually had, and I say the privilege of sitting with a loved one that has passed at that time of their passing, and literally seen their chakras, which are energy centres in the body, opening up in such a way, and seeing a force or a vapour leaving their body, which is the essence, which is the soul. And but it varies from person to person.
You know, the Germans, and we'll talk about another time, are doing a lot of research around that
That's
vapour
fantastic.
at the moment. And they're coming up with some really good scientific evidence, some empirical evidence, which excites me.
I really feel with all the discoveries that we've been having lately in the spiritual fields, in holistic wellness and so on, it's not a case of, does it work? Is it real? It's a case of how does it work? How can we use this?
And that's what
the new
excites
question.
me.
Yeah.
And it's like that information is coming out.
It's
being delivered, and it's
is.
so wonderful. It's just verification. Not that we need it, like you say, it's real.
Yeah.
But still. Well, this is really our topic of discussion tonight. We've really just kind of moded on into it, haven't we? Because it's talking about...
Listening to spirit.
Listening to spirit, but signs from heaven. And I know we just touched on this before, but I was on a plane just a couple of weeks ago, and I was listening to some music. I was watching some TV, and suddenly the radio came on. You know, when you're trying to go from station to station, how did the music come on? It was a particular song from Tina Arena, and it was...
Chains?
Now I Can Dance.
Oh, I like that song.
And anyway, it was from a very, very close friend of mine died back in the year that the song was first sung, and that song was very prevalent to me about that person being okay, because they were a dancer and they were saying, now I can dance, because they couldn't before they passed. And then when I got it straight away, I hadn't heard it for all those years, and at that precise moment I was thinking about my mum. I had tears in my eyes about my mum. And my mum used to be a dancer, and it was the exact same message, and I had not heard that song in 15 years.
And now she can dance in heaven, and that's exactly what she's doing, because you see, that's her idea of happiness.
The sign.
Is exactly, and that's why there's that sign. I wonder if your mum, actually, if you've ever told your mum that story before she had passed, if she knew about that sign, or if she knew about that song or the significance. But even
yes,
so, regardless...
I actually did.
Yeah, because I say to you, it's almost as though, she's probably sent that to you because she knows it's a clear way that you will unmistakably go, I know that this is my beautiful mum now, sending me a hello from heaven.
Wow.
And the thing about signs is quite often people will say, well, I'm not receiving a sign. But the truth is we receive signs every day, not just from the spirit world, but also from the universe. I like to say, if you're someone that would like to invite signs and guidance into your life, begin the affirmation by saying, I am a guidable person. I am very guidable. I am open, I am guidable, I am ready to be guided. And say to spirit and to the universe, move me into the right direction this day. Please move me to meet the right people, or be in the right place, or say the right words. Move me, work through me, and follow everything that's guidance. I'll give you a quick story on guidance and intuition. I was driving home, we're going back now, a couple of months ago I was driving home. I had just finished doing another television thing that I do on Channel 7, and I was on my way home, and to make a very long story short, I had said to my friend 2 days ago earlier, every time I receive a piece of guided information, I follow it. It doesn't matter how ridiculous or how strange it sounds, I follow my guidance, because I absolutely trust, and I know it's always led me to where I've needed to be. So I was driving home, I was in an area that I didn't quite, I was driving through an area that I knew in a sense, because I do the drive every week. But all of a sudden I heard a voice in my head say, turn left here, turn left. And now this is going way off course from where I needed to be going. And I was like, turn left, and I know not to doubt. So my whole car, turn left, highly dangerous. Turn left, no, it wasn't dangerous, but turn left. And the voice said, keep going, keep going, keep going. Turn right. So now I'm turning right. And now I'm in the middle of the back streets of somewhere where I have no idea where I am, what I'm doing, why I'm going this way, but I'm trusting. And so I turn. And then the voice says, pay attention, slow down, pay attention. So now I'm going extra slow down this street. And in the middle of the street, there was a bag, a garbage bag. This is a terrible story, but there was a garbage bag. And the voice said, go and rescue what's in the bag. And someone had abandoned a dog. And sorry, I get very emotional, because And the voice said, you know, and so I took the dog to a rescue shelter, and this beautiful dog's been rehomed now. It's just gorgeous. And these are the things that people don't know about because I don't talk about it publicly. But I am for the first time here. So, but I followed my guidance. Now, had I have not followed my guidance, what could have happened to that little dog? Do you know what I'm saying? So, and the dog was healthy and fine. There was nothing wrong. It was just obviously that someone that didn't know how to handle things, and unfortunately something horrific, you know, happened. Thank goodness.
Well,
so I like to think that I was
Mitchell.
an angel that day, an earth angel.
Indeed.
But my guidance led me to that. And that's how powerful following your guidance can be. You just have to trust it in that moment and go with it. And guidance will always be supportive. It will never be put your head in the oven, do something silly.
Well,
guidance is always positive when it's real guidance.
You can say things.
It will help you.
Later that because it happened to me on the weekend where I had an instance and I was dealing with a person in customer service who was really quite rude. And I found that I was mimicking the person who was reacting to me. So there was a reaction as against the action. And whilst we're on about customer service, the customer is not always right. Would you agree with me? If you're in customer service, you have to agree with me there, Viv.
I agree with you. I agree with Steve.
I'm neutral here. Don't create a war with me.
I find in customer service there is this incredible age of entitlement, and the airlines anyone who works at the airlines will see it. They've paid for an economy ticket and they're demanding. I've seen it. You're in queues and they're holding up all the people.
It's very hard to get a second cup of tea if you're in economy.
They're demanding to get a business class seat.
Just remember, it's what you pull into your sphere and what you attract. So I always just say I'm surrounded by people that support me, that work with me, that are friendly to me, and I have great experiences. You know, you set your affirmations now, Steve. That's
You know, I just have to say, this is freaking me out. Today, I was talking to a friend of mine, Arlene, who just rescued a kitten, and she sent me the photo of the kitten. She's like, this is like my new child. And she told me how she rescued it. She found it on the side of the road. And I told her 20 years ago, I was driving out Macquarie Fields Way, and it was a 6-lane highway, whatever. The car in front of me threw a bag out of the window and it landed on the medium strip, and I was about 5-6 cars behind, and as I drove past, I saw the bag move. And I just went, there was cars everywhere, and I just went, you know, I was really young at the time, so I wasn't thinking about danger or anything. I just pulled the car over, ran across the road, picked it up, and there were 3 kittens in that bag.
Wow, so you've had this, and that's awful.
I was telling my friend about that 2 hours before we came on this show.
And you know what's really interesting, and see what I mean, and you know what's really interesting, and what I found really shocking, mind you, was I was told, as I said, how does this happen? You know, like, how? And I was told, you don't understand, but this happens more than what you actually realise. It happens often, and you just never hear it. And I was just horrified, because everything is energy. Every soul is special. And it's just awful. But yeah, so that was the only example I could think of the top of my mind.
But
it was a terrible example. It's not a heroic thing at all. It's an awful example, but it shows you that when you listen to your guidance, my grandmother used to always say, you know, a miracle only takes a moment, and you can be that moment that creates a miracle. Yeah? You like that? So a miracle only takes a moment, and you can be that moment that creates a miracle.
You know what?
We need to learn to become angels to our angels.
I am a guidable person, and please help me move forward. But since that day 20 years ago, every time I drive past a bag that's on the road, I used to stop all the time. I've got a bit lax in age, but I'll sort of have a sideways glance just to make sure it's not from that experience.
Sure.
Wow.
Yes,
That's great.
We pray that and hope that they're all good things, but especially, and having dealt for years with elderly people, and especially in some cases geriatrics, and I hate that term, but it refers to those who are not equipped to handle life normally. And we were talking a little bit earlier about one of our friends whose mother had fallen because our elderly friends are so vulnerable. And in a moment, it happened to me 2 weeks ago. I badly sprained my ankle, and I hadn't planned to do that. It just particularly happened at that moment, and you just realise at that moment your life can change. So I mean, we do hope and we pray that things happen always for a good thing. But see how that bad instance, luckily I just got a sprained ankle out of it. It could have been much worse. But there's other friends of mine, I won't mention who they are, but I mean, we all see of people who've had major accidents. One man I can think of who had a very severe fall and now is a quadriplegic. So how his life's changed, and he's had to negotiate life again, but and he does, but he's this amazing spirit. He's able to smile.
Look, I always believe in creating each day what we call a healing minute. And I've got a friend in the United States, her name's Rosa Marie Altea, and she talks about, she's a very famous medium, and she talks about the healing minute. And you can join anywhere around the world at 9 a.m, no matter where you are, which country you're in. And for 1 minute, 9 a.m, once a week or each day, send healing to the world. Just say, I'm sending healing and light to wherever it's needed to help make the world a better place. And, you know, be the change you want to see in the world is that famous saying, right? And so it comes back to us starting to, you know, be more conscious.
Can you just say that again? I love that. That's very profound. Just say that
Which
slowly
bit?
again.
There's so many. I'm writing them all down.
Well, there's a famous saying, a quote, and I don't know I can't remember the quote of who it was. It might have even been Gandhi. I can't be sure, so don't quote me. I could be wrong, but the quote is, it's not my quote, it's be the change you want to see in the world. And I think it comes back to us, that's my little bit, where we need to learn to become an angel to our angels. Let's start being, you know, let's be kinder to each other.
Well, how about this? So why not become what you want to attract?
Absolutely.
So that makes sense as well.
Yes, absolutely.
We have over 5,000 friends who are with us at the moment. The 5,000
Hello,
friends
everybody.
who tuned
Thank you
into
for
our
joining.
program.
And
So thank you very much.
Marge just told me that Gandhi did say that.
It was Gandhi.
It
There
was
we are.
Gandhi. So
lovely
be the change
affirmation
you
there.
would want to see in the world. And it seems so simple, and yet it can be so complicated for us to all stop in the middle of the day and just do something like kindness, simple acts of kindness. Let's move on to some of your fantastic